There and welcome back to the History of Fleetwood Mac. I'm Anita. Today we're going to get into episode 4, volume 9 of my Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac scrapbooks, and we're well into the Rock a Little era, 1986. I'm going to start right off with, again, another one I think I had shown prior when I had my little pop-up ones, because I remember I made this one kind of recently, but it's worth showing again. I'd gotten a lot of sheet music, and so I made a lot of pages surrounding that, and thought I was pretty clever with the sheet music. And although I do have those other pictures that I had shown earlier that were like screen grabs from the videos, that would have been kind of cool with that. Had I had those prior, I probably would have done it that way. These are some really unique alternate shots from a session. I think, if I haven't mentioned this already, this is, funny enough, I love Rock a Little. I love all eras. I mean, I'm not going to lie, a Stevie, but I think that her studio sessions were at peak for Rock a Little. I think she had amazing studio sessions. Her live shots, not so much, But I don't think she had people looking out for her best interest, taking live pictures of her. To be honest with you, it took me years to realize that Herbert Worthington would go out and photograph her in concert, and I was still always kind of weird about not believing necessarily. Well, I guess believing, because nobody's told me, oh, that's 100%. I've never seen a caption on the back that was Herbert Worthington taking a live shot, except I think in the Wild Heart tour book. But we see a lot of other live photos, and it's like Herbert Worthington. I just don't think so, because he always just had an element about capturing Stevie as he did, and there are not many live shots that have that special something, whatever the heck that is. Continuing on with that cool session. What did I put here? Sometimes it rages. Oh, I'm so clever, right? Get that? Yeah, I really like the lattice. I think that's how you say it, kind of paper, kind of unique crafting paper. It's all lacy cut out like that prior with this. It just has kind of a look. I think it done good. Some really, like I said, really great shots. This is, I don't believe this is really a real poster. I mean, it could be, but I'm sorry. It could be, well, a real poster, but this is just like a secondhand, Xerox type one. It's actually on really thick, heavy paper. My friend bought it for me, and she was really bummed when we received it that it wasn't a real poster. It's kind of like an obvious picture copy of a poster. So, but I still dig it. I actually can't place that photo, to be honest with you. Usually I can, but I'm trying to think of like what else might go or what show. Could even be Wild Heart. But you can see it's kind of blurry up there, like it's obviously like second and third generation. And then this, one of my favorite pages. This one, I think, goes with the gypsy theme. Like, what? I don't know what I was thinking. Just want a freaking. Now this one, sometimes it rages. That looks cool. But this one, I don't know. There's something about the words on this one and that gypsy picture where I didn't really care for it. Again, these were screen grabs. These are really cool. They're a little bit blurry, but really neat captures from the video. Really like this one and this one. Then this, of course, matches the pictures that are with the Enchanted tour book. They're on the cover of that. Yeah, I mean, you can tell on some of them just how they are, but that was just such a neat little machine in the 90s or something. Like I said, a video capture machine. I don't even really know how it worked. Just something about like you were able to, it plugged in like maybe like a VCR or something. Like you put in I don't know. I really don't know, but I just remember her being able to, she showed me, it was my friend's friend who had it, and she would make us this stuff all the time. And yeah, it's just kind of a weird little machine. Two pretty decent articles. Nick scores with help of a great supporting cast. The carefully nurtured image may be one of Her carefully nurtured image may be one of swirls and twirls, but Stevie Nicks gave the straight-ahead approach a whirl. Sunday night at the sports arena, keeping the spins, although not the costume changes, to a minimum, the raspy-voiced singer put on a show that was not only entertaining but also surprisingly compelling. So yeah, I want to say that this one is pretty nice. And then this one down here, this has been a noticeably low-key return for Stevie Nicks compared with the hoopla of her years with Fleetwood Mac and her triumphant solo debut with the 1981 album Belladonna. Nicks seems to be a reticent public figure these days. Reticent? Like I say? This one, this one's pretty good though. Reticent? Cool light picture too. Well, on camera it doesn't look cool, but in person it looks really cool. It's bad because there's that little wrinkle going across it, but she looks adorable. She looks like she's having a good time. More really cool Rock a Little outtakes. This was from an acquaintance online. She had purchased this. It's a what do you call it? A negative. Sorry. And she had the prints made out of it, and we always thought this was really interesting because it looks like, this is the cover for the tour book, the Rock a Little tour book, but it looks like she clearly was doing something else here, and then just put all this black ink over it, and then kind of etched out rock, like she's going to finish those Rock a Little. But I'd love to know what was here. I mean, all of the stuff that's on the negative, this is like the little samples, the little, how she was, what do you call it? Hand tinting, but there's a better word for that. But yeah, really, really neat photo. Definitely unique. I had a place where I was able to make copies, so in exchange for making her a certain amount of copies for her to sell, I got a print of my own. And then these are more from what I believe is the same shoot. And carrying on with that theme, this page I really liked also. I think I had shown this earlier. Just like the color combination is kind of unique. Kind of gives off this color. And I remember this like it was yesterday, being in Rolling Stone magazine. I forget what it was, a random notes. There was this one, and I think her wedding one, or no, the one also from Rock a Little. I haven't seen it yet. I don't think I passed it. But being in Rolling Stone magazine and just losing my mind when I saw this picture, and then seeing this out of a Japanese magazine was kind of unique. Again, so here's another photo that was released to the public, albeit overseas, but so there are those kind of, outtakes circulating. And then this picture that we see 100 times. Now I also had, and I've sold it since, but I had a very large, a large print of, I think it was this. I think I might have misspoke earlier when I said it was part of the session with that kind of snakeskin behind her. But what I had is a large version of this. It was off by just a frame, but it was color, and it was really it almost was like tinted more in hues of purple. So it was maybe possibly developed that way, or possibly hand tinted. I'm not sure. But I sold that. I took a picture of it beforehand just for my own keepsake. But what I sold was like like those other prints I showed you, like an 18 by 24 or something, like 20 by 24, something like that. It was quite large. But it was really neat to see this in color, because this is so prevalent, and it was in magazines and as the promo photo to see it in color, because you always saw it in black and white. Next up, some really great shots of her live. Well, I say I don't like her shots live so much. Oh, here's some really great shots. But yes and no. These ones, these are kind of cute here. But here she just looks absolutely exhausted. I'm not going to say anything mean, because I don't mean it mean, but just too much. I mean, and Stevie herself has talked about her some of her photos that she sees, and she's like, or interviews, and could I have been less stoned? I think is her own words, and I'm not, it's the time. I never, never ever turn like anybody who says that about that's a part of who they are. You can't forget it. You can't knock it out. It's what you are. Hopefully she had a good time in the meantime. I mean, you look back and it's not your proudest moment, but it is what it is, and her fans have stuck with her. If you're here watching this, you're one of them. So, and probably this show was out of the park, no matter how she was. And the reviews, like I said, for the most part, seem to be really well. Let's see this one here. On her own, however, her vocal deficiencies seem glaringly obvious, but not to her fans, and 10,000 were on hand for her concert last night at the Finger Lakes Performance Arts Center in, I don't know that big word, Canada. Where in the hell is that? So not really. I mean, I guess they gave her her due, but Canada, I don't know. I don't know where I got that. I've never heard that. I guess I've also never realized that place. Oh, Democrat Chronicle, Rochester, New York. So somewhere outside of New York, I guess. August 12th. There you go. Some more pictures from that. I think that same show, possibly. The raccoon eyes thing didn't help either. It just made her look more hollow and sunk in. This one is kind of cute, though. She's having a good time with the girls. I love these pictures with her and the girls. I think I have brought up I think I brought it up in my fanzines or one of my videos. There is a book about Cheryl. Where did I show that? I think it was in my articles, all the binders of articles I have, and there was a Stevie Nicks impersonator named Cheryl. I've already Chrisella, yeah, and she had a book out, and I always wanted to get a hold of that book. Somebody lent it to me, and I read it, and the goal was to Xerox it, but it just never happened, and I ended up sending them back. But I would really like to find my own copy. And this is ironically an article with her out of something called Sun Tracks, which I guess the place out of Phoenix or somewhere in Arizona, being as that's where she was. Pardon me. And yeah, I mean, of course, at the time she was just like, the cat's pajamas until she started screwing over Stevie and Stevie's family, especially after Stevie's mother took her in under her wing. So that's very disappointing. Something about embezzlement or something awful like that. Something just, I don't know, probably her side of the story too. And I'm not sure that the book came out after. Maybe somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Did the book come out after all that happened so that she was telling her side of the story, or was she just talking about her fame and everything, being a part of that, society and a part of the family, if you will? Which also kind of, when you think about it, just really kind of ruins it for the rest of us, fan or not a fan, right? I mean, you don't even have to be an impersonator, but just like, you get close to the Nicks family. Of course, that was then. It's impossible now, obviously. And you can't even get, everybody's going to be worried about you screwing them over. So you can't get close. Can't be friends, can't be nice, because people are going to just think that you're out for something more from them. So yeah, this was an interesting article. So I have this of hers, and just that ad is a one-page ad for her book. And this just goes on about Devil Trouble. It's not easy being Stevie, says Belladonna wannabe. Well, then stop. I think Cheryl's talented, and I think she could do lots of things. She's bright, she's personable, and I'm sure she could sell refrigerators to the Eskimos. So I do believe that she has a good future. I just wish she would get into doing something other than impersonating my daughter, quoted by Barbara Nicks. Exactly. Do your own thing. Like, doing a cover song or something like that, that's fine, but just being a full-on impersonator. But I guess she used to make good money doing it. So So yeah, an interesting article. So I'm going to wrap up this video with that little tidbit. Let me know if you know who she is, or if you've had any experience with any of the other wannabes that followed after her. I don't think I'm going to name names right now. I might have mentioned it before, but you know what I'm talking about, like in the 90s and 2000s. You know. So that's with her. And let's see, I think that we have probably at least another 3 episodes or so to go on. So thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next time. Have a great night. Bye.